Hello, my name is Terry Dean Nemmers, and today is Monday, April 29th, 2013. So welcome to another edition of Lion News. Lion News can be found at lionnews00.blogspot.com. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that on March 18th of this year, 2013, I submitted a data request to the Coleraine Chief of Police, Jeff Kuck, for data on a Jamie Carl Gilbert. And unfortunate for Chief Kuck, I had to file criminal charges against him because he refused to produce this data. And you know, when I read the newspaper article on oh, and this guy's a deputy from Itasca County. So when I read the newspaper article about Jamie Gilbert, I thought, boy, this guy's a winner here, and I got to find out about this one. Well, so when I had all these problems trying to get the information, I realized that they're trying to hide something really, really bad. And now I received this information in the mail after I filed the criminal charge against Chief Kuck, all right? I'm going to read this thing to you, and you'll see why they did not want to give me this information. Okay. Oh, and I have the squad video too. I haven't watched this yet, so I'm sure this will be a laugh riot too. Anyhow, ICR 12-001216, date 7/13/2012. Officer Daniel Moores, 253, nature DWI. This is Coleraine Police Department Incident Narrative Report. Location Township Coleraine. Investigative report by Daniel Moores. Summary: DWI investigation report for Jamie Carl Gilbert. Principals: suspect Jamie Carl Gilbert. Date of birth 9/15/1973. Victims: none listed. Witnesses: none listed. Now this, you need to pay attention to this part because there's all sorts of witnesses. All right, and the presumption is that they're all cops. All right. Details: on 7/13/2012, I, Officer Moores of the Coleraine Police Department, was completing my shift removing some personal items from my squad car, which was facing north on Clemenson Avenue. At approximately 20:35 hours, I observed a white sedan making an extremely wide turn from Roosevelt Street onto Clemson Street. The sedan passed approximately 1 to 1.5 feet away from where I was standing, in full uniform next to my patrol car at a very slow rate of speed. I watched the sedan pass and could see approximately 7 to 8 people were in the vehicle, most of them in the back seat. I entered my squad car, turned it around, and followed the suspect vehicle southbound on Clemson Avenue and westbound onto Cole Street. I activated my emergency lights and conducted a traffic stop at Cole Street and Powell Avenue on the vehicle, license PTE 834. Before I approached the vehicle, I called dispatch for backup to assist me due to the number of occupants in the vehicle. Okay, remember, before it said witnesses 0, okay? Now he's already talking about 7 to 8 people in the car. All right. After approaching the driver door, I observed an odor of alcoholic beverage emanating from the vehicle, and the driver's actions seemed slow and deliberate. I asked the driver if he knew why I stopped the vehicle. The driver stated words to the effect of, "Do you know who I am?" In other words, "I'm a cop, you better not arrest me, buddy." I asked to see his driver's license. He stated he did not have it. Really? I think you're supposed to have that when you're driving, don't you? And he identified himself as Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert stated that he was driving everyone in the car to Grand Rapids from the bar. Obviously, he was the designated driver. I asked Gilbert to exit the vehicle. He complied. As he exited the vehicle, his balance was very poor and he staggered to the back of his car. His speech was slurred and his eyes were watery and bloodshot. At this time, Deputy Miller, Deputy Morse, okay, now these are all Itasca County deputies, and State Trooper Mihalik arrived on the scene. During my contact with Gilbert, I heard him say to myself and individually to other officers present, he was too messed up to be driving. Gilbert told me I should just get back in my squad car, turn off the lights, and leave, implying that I should just let him drive away. Oh, kind of thought he was above the law, huh? Kind of sounds like lawless Polk County, doesn't it? Gilbert kept asking me what I was going to do. I told him I need a little bit more time to figure out the situation. What do you need to figure out? You arrest the guy, all right? You do it to everyone else. See, so there's some doubt what he should do, if he should do his job or not. I consulted with Miller, Morse, Mahillick about the situation. Miller, Morse stated that they cannot be involved with this case due to a conflict of interest. Okay, remember this pops up here. I asked Gilbert if he would submit to a PBT or any field sobriety test. Gilbert said, no. Sounds like he's obstructing the legal process, doesn't he? Oh, and remember, he was only charged with one charge, and that was 169A.20.11, misdemeanor operating motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol. Okay, it gets better. You thought it was funny before. It gets even worse, all right? Let's see. I asked Gilbert if he would submit to PBT or any field sobriety test. Gilbert said no. Gilbert then stated, again in the words effect, I should just let him get back on his way. See, I'm above the law. I'm above the law. You can't do anything to me. In my opinion, due to my observations, Gilbert was obviously intoxicated. Well, then there should be no question. You just arrest him then, right? Just like you do everyone else. Gilbert was taken into custody for driving while intoxicated. Deputy Miller, Morris, and Trooper Mahillick tended to the occupants of the sedan and made arrangements for the vehicle and all the occupants. Remember, all the occupants, but there are no witnesses. Right here. Witnesses. None. See? Really? What are these occupants? What are the passengers? They're all witnesses, aren't they? Probably all cops too, aren't they? Okay. Dispatch was made aware of the situation by telephone and notified the jail for me. On the way to jail, this is Itasca County Jail, Gilbert told me I was a bad cop for taking him in and none of this ever needed to happen. Yeah, see? Remember, you're supposed to follow the code of silence here, buddies. You know, I'm a cop. You ignore my crimes. At the jail, I read him the implied consent advisory. Gilbert asked for a phone directory and a phone, which were provided. Gilbert made one phone call and was unable to contact an attorney. Gilbert stated twice, I'll just eat it. I took this to mean Gilbert no longer wished to use the phone. Gilbert consented to a urine test. I witnessed the urine test utilizing BCA urine kit number 201742. A short time later, Gilbert told me and the detention deputy, Matt Bothma, if you guys book me, I will fucking kill you! Oh boy, that sounds like a terrorist threat, doesn't it? And remember, he was only charged with misdemeanor DWI. Boy, I guess there are two different sets of laws in lawless Itasca County, aren't there? Remember, this was prosecuted in Itasca County by John B. Dimich, the Coleraine city attorney. So there's no conflict of interest there, is there, huh? Because I'm sure Mr. Dimich never prosecuted a single case for Mr. Gilbert here, right? Gilbert continued to be uncooperative and verbally aggressive. So they're probably threatened him made more terroristic threats then, with us throughout the booking process. Per the request of Gilbert's supervisor at the Itasca County Sheriff's Office, Dean Scherf, I was told to transport Gilbert to Detox in Grand Rapids. Gilbert started to walk out of the intake area and was agitated after I cleared Detox. Oh wait, hold on. And was agitated, so asked Mahillick to take the urine kit and paperwork from the jail, which she returned after I cleared Detox. Okay, there we go. So obviously he had to have both hands to control the guy, you know, instead of one hand with the evidence and one hand on him. He had to keep both hands on him, right? Or one hand on a taser. Gilbert, let's see. I personally sealed the urine kit. While en route to Detox, Gilbert told me to drop him off at his friend's house or anywhere in Grand Rapids rather than Detox. See, I'm above the law. You don't have to do this. Upon arrival at Detox, I opened the door for Gilbert. He told me I needed to let him just walk to the facility by himself. So he could run, you mean? I told him I would not allow that and needed to see him into Detox. See, there you go. As we walked, Gilbert was approximately 1 to 2 steps in front of me. Every time I moved towards him, he stated the words to the effect of, "Get the fuck away from me." Gilbert continued this behavior, verbal aggression, during the entire time we were out of the squad car. At one point, Gilbert stated that he would drop me right there. Oh, sounds like another terroristic threat, doesn't it? I saw Gilbert enter the Detox facility and spoke to the employee advising him the situation. End report submitted by, not signed and not dated. Okay? So obviously there are 2 different sets of laws, and they've got a lot to cover up at the Itasca County Sheriff's Department, the Itasca County County Attorney's Office. Oh, and I'd say the Coleraine City Attorney's Office, wouldn't I? So there's plenty of reasons why they wouldn't want me to have this incriminating evidence. Isn't it? You know? And, you know, how many, and if the public got to read this whole thing, how many people would allow this deputy to remain on the force? 0? Probably. More to come.